presidency. They're at least holding to what they said that they would do. Although I think, there's a very good argument that if you're going into reconciliation, you might as well make those checks $2,000 just for the, A, we know the benefit that it provides people. B, we also know the politics of this. But we should take a break now. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Marie Shama, staff writer at the Marshall Project and author of Let the Lord Sort Them Out, The Rise and Fall of the Death Penalty. In the meantime, a couple of sponsors of today's program. A reminder, your support makes this show possible. If you become a member at jointhemajorityreport.com, you get the free half of the show free of commercials as well. It's another little bonus. With that said, I know folks are busy. Everybody wants to get a little smarter and a little bit better read. Am I right, Emma?
Yeah, sorry, I had accidentally muted myself. Yes, I do.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Well,
Emma, I mean, my brain clearly needs to be sharpened because I forgot I was on mute. Now,
do you want to sit through an entire book that's going to tell you like 10 lessons on how to sharpen your brain? No, you don't need all the prose there and the poetry and no, you want to get what they call the key takeaways. Well, the way you do that by using an app called Blinkist. Blinkist takes the key ideas and insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers in 27 different categories, gathers them together in 15-minute text or audio explainers, basically like Cliff Notes, but they call them blinks. Does anybody remember Cliff Notes, or is that just me? Monarch?
No, I do. I remember it being very taboo, like, it's right.
Well, but, if you've got a nice piece of literature, you want to read the literature because it's good.
Well, I was thinking of it in the context of like homework. It was very taboo to use Cliff Notes, but Blinks, now that you're an adult, you get to use Cliff Notes, except it's Blinks.
And so Blinks let you get to a topic quickly, finds new topics that you want to grow from or figure out which books you want to spend time reading or listening to more deeply. Blinkist has even teamed up with popular podcast creators to create Blinks for those too, so you can get to the heart of a podcast episode fast. Apparently 15 million people already use Blinkist. And for me, like I say, I've mentioned this in the past, people say I've got a little personality issues or I'm not that friendly. And I like to, we'll dig into some of these, like how to, how to make friends or how to, be appropriate or, be sincere or stuff like that. But I'm not going to read the whole book. So I do it quickly. And then the other thing I do for Blinkist is books that I feel like I should know about and should read, but I don't really want to. But I can pretend like I did, and like, I guess we don't have many cocktail parties anymore and I don't really get invited to them, but in the event that maybe I bump into somebody, but that is,
put it on your dating profile app,
exactly,
right? Like how well read you are. You've read all these books. Definitely.
On the dating profile, you definitely want to be able to say that you read Blowout by Rachel Maddow. And I did the Blink. That's and then of course there's also stuff like the investing stuff. I feel like I should know about it, but I'm not very good with that. So Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape, you Blink that. Right now, Blinkist has a special offer just for our audience. Go to Blinkist.com/Majority Report. Start your free 7-day trial. Get 25% off a Blinkist premium membership. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist. Blinkist.com/Majority Report. You get 25% off and a 7-day free trial. Blinkist.com/Majority Report. Also, folks, nobody wants to leave their house to go shopping these days. I am not a particular good dresser or a chooser of clothes, and I have one solution that deals with both those problems. Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix offers clothing that is hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, your style, your budget, whatever it is. It's the super easy solution to finding what makes you look and feel your best. This is what happens. They suggest 4 or 5 pieces of clothing to you. You try the pieces on home before you buy. You keep your favorites. If you don't like any of them, you send them back. You pay $20 styling fee for each box, which of course you can edit before they send it to you. And then it gets credited towards any piece that you keep. There's no subscription required. You can try Stitch Fix once, or you can set up automatic deliveries. Shipping, returns, exchanges, they're easy, super free, or I should say free and super easy. And they give you a prepaid envelope in each box, so it makes it super easy. And they have styles for women. They have styles for men. They have styles for kids. They ship all over the U.S. and in the U.K. For me, I've talked about the straight pocket, 5-pocket. This is a huge revelation for me. For a long time, I was just wearing Carhartts with like 8 pockets. And
so you simplified the pocket experience?
I just returned to sort of like the jean style, which I hadn't worn in years. And I got this great pair of pants, sort of like, I only have like a 3-color palette that I use for anything. Right. I think people can know that. But sort of like a dark green Nashville 5-pocket thing. And then I got a flannel shirt, which Mila took care of. She, of course, absconded with that immediately. And I got a thermal shirt that I wasn't sure about. But now, one of those waffle ones that I used to wear back in my slacker days.
Oh, those are just the most comfortable things in the world. Anything waffle, I'm down to purchase.
I got to say.
Food and clothing.
I now just wear one shirt over the weekend. That's usually it, which I should probably do something about that. But right now you can get started today at stitchfix.com/majority. You get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's everything in your box. It's stitchfix.com/majority for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. Stitchfix.com/majority. And lastly, we're also sponsored today by Third Love. Third Love uses the measurements of millions of women to design bras with all-day comfort and support. Every Third Love bra is made with signature memory foam cups, no slip straps, scratch-free band in a variety of sizes. They have this online fit finder quiz, which based upon our 2 Third Love official testers, I am not one of them.
I am one. I have multiple Third Love bras, and I do multiple. Even before I started working here, and I think they are just like the best.
I wouldn't force you to wear them. Well, my understanding, the big deal that people tell me is that they fit, which is apparently very, very difficult to find online. And they have a Third Love Perfect Promise fit or Fit Promise, where if you don't love it, you can exchange it. Returns are super easy. They're free for 60 days. 2021 is your time to shine, folks. Focus on what makes you happy, starting with better bras and better underwear. You can check out all the exclusive styles at thirdlove.com, from modern stripes to lace that actually feels soft to their #1 rated 24/7 classic t-shirt bra. Here is one of our testimonials from one of our 2 Third Love trier outers. The idea that I had 60 days to try out the bras drew me in, but in the end, I don't think I've ever had a better experience buying clothing online. Certainly not when it comes to bras. The Fit Finder worked like a charm. The choice of style is amazing. Both the bras I ordered were a perfect fit. They are incredibly comfortable and cute and subtle. Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering my listeners 20% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/majority right now to find your perfect fitting bra. Get 20% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/majority for 20% off today. Check it out, folks. We will put all the links into the podcast description and at majority.fm and on our YouTube page and in the podcast description. Okay. I want to welcome to the program Maurice Shama. He is a staff writer at the Marshall Project and author of Let the Lord Sort Them Out, The Rise and Fall of the Death Penalty. Or I should say, Let the Lord Sort Them. Maurice, welcome to the program. Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh,
there you go. Now we can.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great.
Maurice, welcome to the program. Congratulations on your book. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Sorry for the technical chaos.
That is the era we are living in. So, all right, Maurice, let's start with this. I did not know this. I mean, I've been, I guess I should say I am an opponent of the death penalty and have been for, I think, most of my adult life. I was not aware of how close we were to ending the death penalty in 1972. Will you tell us about that?
Sure. This shocked me, too, when I got into the research. I mean, in the 1960s, the death penalty virtually disappeared in the United States. This was back when Europe was abandoning it, Canada abolished it, and it seemed like we were going to do it, too. There were just no executions year by year, and that was largely because a group of civil rights lawyers had managed to convince the courts to stop executions and sort of slow them down by just filing every motion they could think of. In 1972, the Supreme Court then took on a case that these civil rights lawyers brought to them that was about whether the death penalty violates the Constitution. And the Supreme Court said it does violate the Constitution, but just the laws that we have, not the death penalty itself. The death penalty is fine in and of itself, but the laws that different states have on the books for how it gets doled out are problematic, right? And so what this ends up doing is inviting the states, largely southern states, largely states that where sort of states' rights are a big part of the picture, and there's a general sort of consensus against Washington and federal edicts. These states write new death penalty laws, and we see the sort of backlash play out in those laws, and then executions start to come back in the 1980s and 90s.
All right, so let's be explicit. I want to be a little more explicit about that 1972 Furman versus Georgia case, because
Sure.
When it said the death penalty, it didn't say, they didn't decide that the death penalty was unconstitutional. What they said was that the specifics in the way that it was being doled out was
That's
unconstitutional.
Right. That's right.
So it's more like it's not so much that the death penalty is bad, just to simplify, but rather the way that you're going about it is bad.
That's right. And that these civil rights lawyers had argued to the court that it's racially biased, right? That whether you get the death penalty has much more to do with your race than it does with the particular crime that you committed. The justices aren't willing to go that far. They're very sort of uncomfortable talking about race. So they focus mainly on it being arbitrary, right? That two different people can commit the same crime, and whether it's race or some other set of factors, there's sort of a totally random outcome on which one of those two people actually gets the death penalty and gets executed. One judge, justice on the Supreme Court, compared it to being struck by lightning, right? And so when the states go back and try to write these new laws, they're mainly trying to solve that problem, to try to create some, meaningful distinction between who gets the death penalty and who doesn't.
All right, let's take I want to just take a slight detour before we go back on how this was addressed and talk a little bit about Texas, because in many respects, the story of the death penalty is a story of Texas in many respects. And we should just say, in terms of those statistics about who gets the death penalty, I think at this point you've shown that, or at least you cite a study that showed it is the race of the person who is killed, which often determines the probability you will get the death penalty. Not so much the race of the person who commits the murder, but the race of the person who is killed. Well, let's talk about about Texas and this concept of. I think certainly, I don't know if I've ever really thought about it that strongly, but I think I would have perceived that. The idea of Texas being sort of the number one place for the death penalty in this country, certainly as of late, was a function of the number one in terms of biggest percentage of any one state, I should say. 1/3 of our death penalties, right, our executions have taken place there. Out of 1,500, I think it's about 500, more or less. That it would have been like, this is all about frontier justice. But you tell this, you tell it a couple of different ways through Craig Washington, who is a lawmaker, and Damelin Reeser. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her name.
Damelin Reeser, sure.
Damelin Reeser. Yeah, tell us about those two and about what the story they tell about the death penalty.
Right. So in the 1970s, Texas legislators were debating sort of whether to bring the death penalty back and how to bring it back. And most of the legislators